Welcome everybody. We on the Renovated Thinking podcast. We got everybody over here. We got Ray.
Hey.
We got Drade.
Hey. How y'all doing?
And we got myself, Dion. This is first episode, so what we're gonna do is we're going to go through our introduction so you can get to know us. Get to know what we do while we're here, and then we're gonna start this show. We're gonna get it on the road. So we got Drade.
Yeah, how you guys doing? My name is Drade Graham. As you guys can see, I went to Shaw University. That's what I represent. I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm a philanthropist first. That's first and foremost. I'm here to help the people, and maybe one day dab into politics. So I can help more people, help the masses even more.
I'm Ray.
You got it.
I'm Ray. I'm your co-host Ray. I'm a poet, videographer, editor. Yeah, that's me.
That's what she do.
Yeah,
That's what she do. All right.
Every day.
All right. So my name is Dion Ema. I am a lot of things. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the executive producer of this podcast. I'm also hosting with these are two amazing people. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a film producer, theater producer, writer, actor, director, coach, everything. So that's what I do. I'm also a real estate investor. And me being in real estate is really what drove me to be here. So Blue Mania Real Estate, which is also the sponsor of this podcast, our first sponsors. So that's what I do, and I'm about renovated thinking, changing people's way of thinking. And the reason why these two people are here with me is I feel like these two are somebody who I can spread that message with. We all on the same wave. So this podcast, we're going to be really getting into just knowing, just learning more things, just being open to information, learning about anything from anybody. We're going to have guests come on the show. And when we have guests come on the show, we're going to be able to learn from the guests. You guys are going to be able to learn from the guests. I'm going to learn from them. They're going to learn from me. We're all going to learn from each other. That's what we're just learning, bro. That's what it's about.
Growth.
Just having growth, and everybody's gonna grow in this situation. So stay tuned, and we're gonna get this show on the road. So first of all, how's everybody doing? How's everybody?
Blessed.
It's a good Saturday.
You blessed?
It's a real good Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good Saturday. It was a laid back Saturday for the beginning of the day. I wasn't my energy was kind of low. I ain't want to get up for some reason, but once I realized what we was here for, we come in here. I was like, you know what?
What's up?
I boosted up. I got myself up. So that's what we on today. All right. So the topic of this first episode is becoming your own fire. Becoming your own fire. And with becoming your own fire, that's really about being able to fuel yourself to be able to do the things that you need to do to get to the places where you want to go, regardless of how much motivation the people around you may give you, how much drive they may give you. I feel like it's very important that you should know how to fuel yourself. So
That's true.
First thing that I really want to come up and talk about is getting to that place for people who aren't just naturally there. Because, thank God for me, I naturally had it. I don't know, like I've been in anything that I wanted to do from the time I was, as far as I can go back. If I wanted to do it and I decided I was going to do it, I did it, and I could have nobody around me to motivate me about it. And I could, just do it. I don't know. I just been always the type to just do it.
Yeah.
But you have,
Hold your hand, be like, come on.
Yeah.
Or push you. You always had that drive.
right. And pushing people pushing is actually something that's beneficial. I like when there's people that I have that can push me and who can remind me of why I do what I do, and remind me of, let me know when I'm doing good, let me know when I'm slacking. It's a big thing to have that, but the harsh reality of it is that everybody's not going to be able to have that at their disposal.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to press today is really getting out the message about, giving those people who don't naturally have it to learn to get to the right place that they need to get it. Okay? So yeah, let's talk about that. Becoming your own fire.
So basically, I feel like becoming your own fire, um, you have to. First of all, I feel like you can't be complacent. That's like the first key to lighting your own fire is not settling, not settling for what you have and trying to strive for more and seek better within yourself. Because personally, I feel like you should always strive to progress, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You should always try to progress, and you can always grow and learn, no matter who it's from and what age they are.
Exactly. Yeah. You can learn stuff from somebody who 50, you can learn something from somebody who's 5.
Exactly.
Trust me, I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised the people that you can get information from. It is what it is. So
I don't take it to heart. When adults say, you being as young as you are, you don't know what you're talking about.
right. Yeah. The whole I'm older than you, I got the experience and you don't. So then it's really not about that, because I can guarantee you there's some things that I don't know yet that people a lot younger than me know already. You know what I'm saying?
People, that look at me and be like, you kind of wise for your age, You teaching me things, and at the same time, that feels good.
Yeah.
Not only am I learning, but I'm giving back.
Exactly.
Paying it forward.
Exactly.
You know.
And that's what it's all about, because at the end of the day, it's my job to fuel fire into people. Honestly, for me, that's how I take it. That's why this podcast was created in the first place. I feel like it's my job to fuel the people around me who necessarily need it. But everybody's not like that. Everybody's not like that. And no shot to anybody who's in my life, but I don't have a lot of people. Still to this day, I don't have the most amount of people to motivate me and to push me, because I could, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like sometimes I could slow down what I'm doing, and it can go unrecognized. And a lot of people would deal with that, where their drive, they could be good at one point, they're moving, and then at some point they slow down. It starts to, you giving yourself a little bit more leisure than usual, and it's kind of hurting you, and it in the back of your head, but you're in a place where you don't have the discipline in that moment to tell yourself that you need to get it together. But it feels different when it's coming from somebody else. But the truth about that is, there's people that's just worried about them and what they got going on, and there's no problem with that, because you got to be worried about you. I'm not, I ain't in everybody business. I ain't in everybody bag and what they got going on and how much you working on, what you doing every day. I'm really not. So people could even have that. There's people in my life who could even have that experience with me, where I'm not checking up on them and how they're doing everything on a consistent basis. But at the same time, that's why I learned, that's your responsibility. And the fact that it's your responsibility, that's why having your own fuel is important, because there's a lot of people who will give you the saying, my mom never, my dad didn't tell me. But I couldn't take that excuse, because if I want to be somewhere, I want to be somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not going to tell you that because my mom or my dad, my older brothers or anything didn't give this to me.
More so like, but I'm not doing this
because and handing it to other people. And that's why, on a side convo, that's why for me, ever since I was probably I could say 17, probably 16, 17, from that time, my life decisions, those big decisions that would impact what goes into my future, I didn't allow anybody to dictate that for me. And it could happen because a lot of people have parents who you could be 18, you could be 20, you could be 21, 25, and they'll come in and tell you, no, you're not doing this, you're doing that. Or, no, you shouldn't do that. And knock it down. And I don't think that should be the way it is, because for me, the thing is that I think when somebody else gives you, hey, this is what you're going to do, and then you go and do it, and it doesn't work out, the feeling that you're going to have towards that person is not good. It's not good.
That can turn into resentment.
Yes. Exactly.
You had dreams for yourself, and instead of following what you really wanted to do, you had somebody in your ear telling you, nah, you can't do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do what I want you to do.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's a lot of parents like that.
Yes.
A lot of parents like that. And then you have some who don't care.
Yeah.
Who don't care. They won't ask.
On the other side of the
spectrum. They are right on the other side of the spectrum. Yeah. And then you have, and then to give credit, you have the parents who are supportive of whatever you want to do, as long as it's positive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's about, and that's what I feel like should be there. Yeah. But everybody in this world is dealing with different types of parents, different people. So because of that, the point of this whole episode is just giving that one that is on either side of the spectrum to understand that when you get to a certain point about what you want to do with yourself, that's your decision. And what you do is, as long as it's positive, whatever you want to do is what you want to do, and that's it. Like it's no in and out about it, because they're not going to be able to change who you are. Nobody's going to be able to change who you are, even if they make you do something else. Yeah. Because they could tell you, hey, take this corporate job, but you're creative. You know your creativeness, in the midst of having a corporate job, it may not be as sharp anymore, but that creativeness is always inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And that decision can be made, around the time that you're 20 from your parents. And then you realize 20 years later, when you're 40, now I need to get back into my creative side, because I spent my entire adulthood so far not being able to do it.
And it shouldn't be like that, but sometimes it is.
It is.
That's just take it upon yourself to make it where you're not being controlled your whole life.
You're not being controlled.
Yeah, that's real. That's something I've ran across multiple times. Working as a orientation mentor, I run into a lot of students who kind of live throughout. Live through the parents are living through them, basically. And I tell them, at the end of the day, bro, you your own man, you your own woman. Like in the future, your parents may not be able to afford to pay for you and support you financially, so you have to make decisions for yourself. Like, I'm just keep it real,
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, mom, like, think about it. If all your life you want to be a dancer or an artist or a photographer, and your parents say, okay, no, that's not gonna pay the bills, be a doctor. So you go and pursue that, and it falls through, or you make it, right? They're proud of you. They're happy, right? They're happy. Then once it's their time, they pass. Now what? They were happy all that time. They're gone now. Now you're living with a decision that you made for them, and they're not here anymore. Exactly what did you invest into yourself? For yourself. For yourself.
Yeah. And that happens a lot with, it could be sports parents even. They could have had to, train their kid. Yeah. They could have trained their kid to do.
Yeah. I had a friend, years ago, actually, ridiculously like involved
Mm-hmm.
in everything. Like she couldn't make any decisions for herself. And the thing is, she was being forced to play sports that she didn't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And everything when it came to can I do this? Well, can I do that? Her mom was like, no, you know.
Yeah.
And it grew into her telling me I can't wait to leave and move, you know, because she really wanted to go to college, but it was more so
Yeah.
what her mom wanted, where her mom wanted her to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I can't wait to leave.
Right.
Because once that happens and I turn 18, 19, and I'm accepted, I'm going to the furthest college away from you to where you can't control what I'm doing anymore.
Right. And that's the route to gaining your own fire. It could go one way or the other.
Right.
Because sometimes, you could end up in that situation and you do the wrong things and you make the wrong decisions when you get by yourself because now you want to act out.
Yeah.
And then you have some who actually has the fuel and says, you know what, I'm going to leave for college and I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to do it how I want to do it at the level that, and I want to be able to control that.
Right. I'm not going to let anybody dictate my life anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right. So when it comes to all of that, that tells you, that tells you honestly that when it comes to having your own fire, when you have that and you decide and you make a decision, like for me, when I make a decision that I'm going to do something, first of all, it may take me time. Sometimes it's a snap of a decision. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, I need a couple of days to really, pan this out, really know what I'm going to do. And when I look and I decide, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it's just that.
Right. It's going to get done.
It's going to get done. And can't nobody tell me nothing.
Right.
And it's a pro and a con to a certain degree, because when I get in my work, sometimes, I like to lock in. And when I lock in, it causes neglect to other parts of my life. To be honest, that's how I can be. I may
like a horse that get the shutters.
Yeah, I get. I had some nicknames from some people who I know, and they nicknamed me Bullseye because it's just like once I get the idea of what I want,
that's what's called. You get tunnel vision.
I get tunnel vision, and I want it, and I'm gonna go get it, and I'm not gonna stop working. And when I wake up, I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it all day until I go to sleep, and then I'm up and I'm on it again. And don't get me wrong, it gets done. It gets done, but it comes at an expense of neglecting other things, and that's for the people who actually have their own fire, naturally, or who they've been able to build it. One thing that you got to know is which I'm trust me, I'm a student to this lesson as well. But I do know that I have to learn how to focus. But at the same time, when I know that there are certain moments, certain springs where I have to lock in the way that I need to make things happen, because my lock-in is effective. When I choose to do something and I lock into it, it gets done. I'm telling you, it gets done. My efficiency level is on point. So, I do what I have to do, but I don't like to be in it all the time, because me being locked in causes me to, there's people that's in my life, my closest circle, who may not hear from me as much, and they'll feel some type of way about it. And they have all the right to, because.
Well, that's, at the end of the day, I feel like your real friends who really know you, understand your grind and understand your motivation, and will be understanding of it, And once you guys talk and converse after however long you've been, with your head in the sand grinding, and once y'all talk and you tell them what you've been up to, they gonna understand. If they're your real friend.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I ain't talking about friends.
I'm just saying, people in general.
Yeah.
Whether it's your coworker or whoever, if they can't understand why you can't give them the attention that they want, because you're trying to focus on self. And if you can't understand that, then I guess you're just we just not meant to share the same energy.
I've done that. I've been in that I've been involved in that a lot, to where there were certain people who couldn't understand that, and I just have to be like, listen, it is what it is.
You gotta understand, like
I gotta let it go.
Right.
You know.
In a way, sometimes like that work is number one.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's number one, you about to be pushed to the side for a little bit because this needs to get done.
This needs to get
if
done.
You don't understand that, then right about now, I can't necessarily worry about that. The best I can do is tell you, well, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is how long it might take. I apologize if, you feel like I'm neglecting you, but this is my focus right now. If you can't understand that,
yeah.
I mean, at least I let you know,
Mm-hmm. And we could be some, and that's why one thing that I learned how to do was the people who I have, close to me and my family. One thing I would do is I would know when I'm unlocking. I would know. Right. Like, for example, I had a couple real estate deals that was going on at the same time. I had just I was in the process of getting my house and closing down on it in Ocala, because it's a rehab, it's a renovation that I'm doing in Ocala, and I have to go up there in a couple weeks. So with that and there being another house on West Little River, and knowing the fact that we were starting this podcast, we were thumbing down in the last days, all at the same time, I knew I had to be on a different level of focus. Yeah. So when that happened, I let certain people know in my life, like, yo, when August come around, I'm gonna be here, and there's certain things that I have to focus on, and I don't want you to feel. Sometimes I want you to understand, so I'm letting you know ahead of time. Exactly. Because you have certain relationships that,
And that's a tip right there. Just
communication is key.
Communication.
Communication is key in every relationship, no matter what it is.
Yeah. No matter what type of relationship
whether
it is.
Coworkers, whether it's friends, relationship, parents,
yeah.
Anything. Bro, even matter of fact, think about this. Even in driving, communication is key. Because what do you do when you try to turn?
You got to put on that signal to let people know.
Yes. What happens when your car start making noise? It's communicating and letting you know there may be a problem. Take me to somebody who can look at me.
Yeah.
Communication is key. Right? When your dog hungry, what they do? They make noises. They may come look at you funny.
Yeah.
That's communication. Whether it's visual, whether you can hear it, whatever, So,
and that's why, that's why when it comes to all of that and getting in a place of being focused, when you start to do that for yourself, which is something that you should do, I promise you, people will learn how to adapt. Yeah. When you consistently are that type of person,
yeah, that's real.
People will adapt, and people will know. Listen, that's Dion.
Yeah.
Speaking of that's basically just like Jordan from the from watching the documentary.
Yeah,
basically he did the exact same thing. People basically had to conform to his style of leadership. Because at the end of the day, what he was doing was creating results. He was creating
results.
Like you said, he focused in, like you say you do. You focus in, and you get the results, even though it may step on some toes sometime.
Yeah.
But you're getting the results you want. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices in order to achieve the ultimate goal, whether someone likes it or not.
Yeah. And that's how I am. And that's how we gotta be. That's how a lot of people have to be, because I'm not where I want to be in life yet, but I'll tell you what, nobody but God will keep me from what I want here and here, unless God speaks to me himself and tell me, no, that ain't for you.
Right.
It ain't a human being out here that's just going to tell me, no, listen, I want it. I pray on it. I do what I got to do. And once I decide that that's what's going to be done, that's what's going to be done. Yep. So when it comes to becoming your own fire, it really puts you in a position to say, hey, okay, what are the things that I need to do to put myself in a position to where I can constantly fuel myself on a daily basis. How that starts is you have to come to a decision that you are going to die every day to be born a better person in the morning. You have got to decide that you are going to outdo yourself every day, every month, every year. Because a lot of people can go and look back on what they accomplished in 2019 and see that and have that define them as who they are. When if you want to be here in 2019, you are here, but you really want to be here in 20 years, don't be here and be thinking about when you was in 2019 and how to. Now it's a new year. There's a lot of stuff going on. We know this is not the regular year, but
progress from that.
But you have to progress. It's and it's. I look at it as black and white. You know what I'm saying? You have to constantly progress. Right. You have to learn. Learning is the key. Being a student, to this world. Student of the game. It exactly. It don't matter what you're doing. It don't matter what your game is. That's what you have to do. You have to be willing to learn, to be a sponge to people, to speak to people. And that's all an element of becoming your own fire. And I would give this advice. For somebody who is trying to build that fire, who doesn't have it, one thing that I want you to do is to recognize who is around you, first of all. Because your environment, your circle really impacts how you move. Because if you're one person and everybody that's around you are an example in any way, type of shape, form, what you want to be, you will be conformed by that circle.
That's real. When I had, like I said, when I had my mentees at the school, I would tell them the exact same thing because I've been through that. At the end of the day, like I just said, your circle will make or break you. So I tell them at the end of the day, your circle should be either you guys are striving to achieve a certain goal together or they're already there. So say, for instance, if you want to be a lawyer or a judge or work in the judicial system, your friends should be in that field. Either they're in law enforcement, they're trying to be lawyers or judges or politicians, whoever in that field. All you guys should be together, striving together. So eventually, once you guys get into that field, you guys could uplift each other and help each other.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense for if your friend just, even though if that's what you want to do, if your friend want to work at McDonald's or if that's what they want to do, that's their business, but you try to surround yourself with people who can help uplift you to achieve your goal. It just is what it is. Because you can't expect your friend that's at the Gap to give you advice on the bar exam.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it 100. So
and I'm about to step on some toes.
Lightly. Don't do it too hard.
Okay. If you have people around you who is gonna call you late at night while you're working to tell you, hey, come out to this party, get lit, get drunk, and you tell them that you handling your business and they're trying to encourage you to drop it. Come on, deal with it tomorrow.
That can wait.
That can wait. It can wait. You make sure it does wait, but when that happens, you've got some decisions to make.
Yeah, that lets you know where you stand, like as far as
because that person does not care about what you got going on.
And your progressions.
That person does not care about what you got going on.
They really don't.
They don't. So I don't care how long you've known them. You could have known them 2 months, 2 years, 10 years. If they can do that to you, then it is what it is.
It can be family, bro. Blood too.
Suppose life partner as well.
Yes. Because if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing and you have people encouraging you, that's one thing. But if you are doing the thing that needs to be done. You're doing the right thing, and you're working towards what you want to work towards. If you got people who's gonna sit there and try to diminish that, that's a problem.
Yep.
That's a problem. So, having your own fire requires you to one make a decision that I'm gonna have my own fire. I'm willing to die every night when I go to sleep. I want to die, wake up, be born a new person, a better person than yesterday. I'm willing to put in more than I did yesterday. I'm willing to outdo myself.
Yes.
I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to listen. I am willing to network. I am willing to do whatever I need to do
Whatever it takes.
to make it happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I keep saying learning, and I keep saying student, because that's how you get where you need to go. And the thing is that when it comes to that circle, I had a circle before. I had a circle before with people who I was around, cool people. They still cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mess with them, but at the same time, it was a while back. It was probably 3-4 years ago that I had made the decision that, man, I need to change my circle, because the people that I'm around, it's not going to help me or encourage me to go anywhere that I need to be.
Right.
When I would ask them what they got going on, it was like I'm walking them. I'm watching them walk into a place of nowhere, and I can't have you consuming my time, consuming my circle, being in my circle, being in my bubble, consuming my energy, and I can see you going into a place of nowhere. And knowing me, of course, I'm going to try to encourage you to talk you out of going down that route.
Yeah.
But if you seem like you stuck in it and I can't do nothing about it, I got to let it go. And I'm even worse now than I was at that time, because I let them go, but at the same time, it was kind of like it wasn't as easy.
Right.
Because especially if it's just people you grew up with and stuff like that, it's hard.
Yeah, I knew them. I've known them. I've known them for a little minute. You know what I'm saying?
You get to a point where it's like I can't keep doing this.
You can't.
For myself, because that's what
It's right.
At the end of the day, you gotta make sure self is good. Because how can you help others if self ain't right?
Yeah.
You know.
And with yourself, that fire has to be built through you being able to master yourself.
Right.
Master the knowledge of who you are. There's a lot to figure out before you can consistently light a fire in yourself. Every time you get out of bed, you're going to have to know yourself. There are things that's about you that are going to be exposed to you in the midst, because your life and what happens and the results that you're able to obtain will tell you about yourself. And you may like some of it, and you may not like some of it, but you're gonna learn. You're gonna know, dang, once you're really able to call yourself out on certain things.
Yeah, definitely.
That, like, Netflix is distracting me. Look at the hours that I have on this app. This is ridiculous.
Right.
And this is leisure time. This is leisure time. And I'm not saying you should spend all your time or all your day. You got life, but at the same time,
you gotta progress.
If you're not where you want to be, time isn't promised to you. And when you're given a gift, or you're given a way of life, or you decide that there's something that you want, I'm not gonna hand it to you. Nobody's gonna hand it to you.
Right.
And you have to go and you have to get it. So
Can't feed you.
Speaking of that reminds me of back when I was when I first joined the fraternity. Basically, I had to do the same thing, because I don't know if you guys fraternities, they do dance moves and steps and stuff of that nature, and I've never been a dancer ever. Never been a dancer, but once I joined the fraternity, I had a reason to dance, and shout out to brother Jamel Walker. He helped light that fire, like you say, the circle. He was one of those people in my circle during my collegiate years that really lit that fire within me. That he believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself at one point, because that helped me grow and learn about myself. That first of all, I had to gain my confidence, because at one point I lacked confidence within myself. To the point where I couldn't, like, even public speaking. You know, that's one of the highest fears of people in general in the world, is speaking in front of people. And once I figured out what was the key is confidence. What gives you confidence? Knowledge.
Right.
Yes.
Once you have that knowledge of what you're talking about, you have it. Once you have that knowledge, and once you know that you know.
Yes.
Because you can know, but if you second guess yourself,
Yeah.
you can't really, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
You have to know that you know.
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest, I'm going to be honest, that is one of the biggest things that I tell people. If I could tell people anything, when I was in elementary and in middle and in grade school period, I heard a lot of knowledge is power from educators. You know, you see it on the classroom walls, and then you're told it every year, and everything like that. And honestly, as a child, I didn't take it serious. Knowledge is power. Education is key. Okay, what y'all teaching me in these books? Teaching me about Christopher Columbus.
What am I getting out of
Okay,
this?
Right.
if that's what power is,
Right.
I guess so. I didn't, and honestly, that's not, that type of education is not
And
what it's about.
Wrong with learning about it.
There's nothing wrong with learning about it. I just knew, I was like, dang, when people told me knowledge is power, education is key, I wasn't thinking that. I see what they mean.
Yeah.
I see what they mean. It wasn't until I was an adult that it really clicked to me.
Right.
That I was like, man, you know what? I realized that knowledge is power, because that's something that somebody can't take from you.
True.
Nobody can take that.
But as a child, I felt like to me, being in school, seeing all the curriculum, trying to absorb it, looking at it like, I think there's more. This don't seem like these dots are not all connecting here, because it's other stuff we need to know. Like, especially when I joined the military in high school. Because once you join the military, you got to do adult stuff.
Yeah.
So they ask me for certain documents and this. I'm like, hold on, what is this? Hold on. I
We're
thought school was
not
supposed to
taught
prepare
this.
me. I thought school was
They don't teach this to us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't teach us. Ooh, stepping on toes again. Oh, amazing. They don't teach a lot of stuff. It's amazing to me how I went through grade school, and I didn't have near a teacher who was able to tell me anything about credit. Yeah. I
don't think that word was used in school. I never heard that word before in school.
I didn't. I promise you, I didn't.
Credits. Like credits, you got a certain amount of credits to graduate.
Yeah.
But
you,
not
you
like
hear,
financial
that's
credit.
all that's
Yeah.
all some of them teachers worried about.
Yeah, exactly. Or passing the
And
test,
because
standardized
of that,
test.
that's all we worried about.
Mm.
Yeah,
Getting
so we get that
credits to
paper.
pass, whether we learned whatever they was teaching or not.
That's fact.
Yeah. School became saturated, very saturated, because it wasn't about. It came to a place where it wasn't about what you really know anymore. Even with state tests, it was just about, the information that they was giving you and what they were testing you about was just so, I don't know how to explain it. It was so saturated.
So I'm gonna say,
to separate from this group and this group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say this one last thing, because I feel like we're getting off topic, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's yeah.
Well, okay, so when it comes to the tips, like I told you, what I said before about, your circle, that's really important. When it comes to being able to master yourself, that's something that we're gonna get more into when, as we progress in this podcast. But you have to master yourself. You have to take care of what's around you. That is the core, because once you take care of everything inside here, and then you take care of everything that's out here, you finally put yourself in a position where you can be aware of yourself. I was not aware of myself before the way that I am now. When I have certain things about myself that I don't like, I can identify them. Sometimes I don't need somebody to come and identify it for me to know that it exists. I can really look at myself in the mirror, and it's not easy to do that. I wasn't always like that. Right. That's something you have to learn how to do. And what that's going to help you with is when you go out and you're trying to build, and you're trying to use your fire to get what you want out of life, there's going to be a lot of things that are, it's not just a race where, okay, I'm not trying to tell you that it's a situation where you could just go in, go hard and everything is just going to progress.
Oh no.
Because
You're going to fall.
You'll fall. But it's the monster in you that's going to make sure that you get up every time.
Exactly.
Every time. Because there's certain things that I've dealt with. There's people that's had situations a lot harder than mine. Dealt with obstacles that that could have drowned them, and they were able to get up and go over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I even the motivational speaker that I listen to, Eric Thomas, he always bring it up how, he was eating out of trash cans. Right. He was homeless.
Yeah.
He was kicked out and stuff like that. He didn't have his father in his life at all. There were certain things that he dealt with that I didn't, and to know that I didn't deal with that and he did, and to see where he is, that alone lets me know that whatever I'm dealing with in my life, it's no excuse for me to, I don't do excuses. I don't do excuses for myself, and I don't do excuses for anybody else. I don't pity myself, and I have to go, and I understand that I got to get it done. And that's another thing that you're going to need, being involved, in life general. If you want to be great at something, you've got to be able to light yourself, because, stepping on toes again. You have to know how to do that, because the more you progress, you will find snakes in the grass, people who may have actually genuinely wanted you to succeed at first.
Right.
And they could have grew up with you. They could have came up with you. And you could be progressing at a higher rate than them. And at first they genuinely wanted it for you, but then all of a sudden they're just like, hold on. Like, I was sitting in the same classroom with this guy. And he here and I'm there.
Tighten up.
But they take it in a way of envy, bad envy, and
feeling inferior.
Yeah,
at times
feeling inferior. But at the same time, it comes to a place where having that around you can really cause you to make decisions. Knowing how close that person is to you, it can cause you to make decisions that you shouldn't be making. They'll probably start encouraging you to do things that'll turn you the other way, and you won't even notice it.
Right.
So,
because it seems genuine.
Yeah, it seems genuine, knowing who the person is, but at the same time, that's something else that you have to be aware of. You have to be aware of the fact that when it comes to having your own fire, that you're not perfect, and it's not going to be every day. Just like I said at the beginning of this episode, I wasn't feeling all the energy when I woke up this morning.
Right.
I had to think myself into it and be like, you know what? Nah, let me get up and this is a good day. We filming this first episode. Let me do this. I didn't wake up with the full energy with the go mode. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna have that every day. Understand that you're not perfect. You're gonna have to be able to understand that you're going to need discipline
Yes.
in yourself.
Yes.
You're gonna need self-discipline. You're gonna have to be able to tell yourself no.
Hmm.
When you and that's with anything that you want. You could want to gain weight, and with gaining weight, you're gonna be having to take certain proteins and stuff like that. Things that you may not want to eat, but you have to have the discipline to eat it. I'm not so much of a fan of it, but if you want to gain weight, it's what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do because I was in a place where for a while I couldn't touch 200. No matter what I did, it felt. I could stop working out for 2 weeks and just eat whatever and be like, hopefully, I'll pick up some weight so I could use it in the gym or something.
Right.
And it would not work. But once I became disciplined to know, taking it from somebody who knew, learning,
Yes.
and being like, listen, and knowing that person's career, knowing that they were into that stuff, I had to sit down with them and be like, listen, what is it that I need to do to get where I want to go?
Yeah.
They gave it to me.
Yeah.
They gave it to me. And when they gave it to me, I took it and I was disciplined towards it. Did I feel like constantly eating boiled eggs in the morning? No, I didn't. But I did it because I had to be disciplined to the fact that I wanted to be a certain weight,
achieve that goal,
so that I could take care of my body, physically in the gym and everything like that. So it's all about discipline. It doesn't only apply to work. Where you want to be in life, just period, in anything you want, you've got to have all of that. And this one thing that I want us to actually have a conversation about, the last thing that I wanted to bring up about becoming your own fire, is being able to declare that it's yours. You have to declare that it's yours. You cannot hand options into the energy of this world. You can't say if it happens, if it doesn't happen.
That if word.
That maybe, that but.
Speak it into existence.
Everything. You gotta put it into existence because once you say, hey, listen, it's done. It's done. It's done before and I declared, there's a lot of things that I declared in my life that are not here yet. But there are some things that I declared in my life when I was 17, 18, 19 years old that I got now. And I'm telling you, like, for somebody who is, I'm doing real estate now. When I was 18, I didn't know I was going to end up doing real estate, but I knew, but at the same time, it was, once I decided that I was going to do real estate, I declared, no, this is not going to be just something that I'm going to try and it's going to work and it's going to go well.
Right.
And it's going to be a business that's going to be able to run and I can hand off generation to generation. So I can make sure my kids don't, have to grow up with the same upbringing as I did. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
And it will happen. And it's been, for me to be 21 years old today and be able to honestly say that I run a 6-figure real estate business is not something, that could just come out and no. Exactly. I'm doing this and I'm doing at the level because for me, I find it really important to make sure that, God is in what I do, in everything I do. So once I speak to him, I talk to him, hey, listen, is this for me? Is it not? And once I get that sign that says, hey,
green light,
do what you got to do, it's over. And I decide that, hey, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to learn. And I went out, I learned, I dealt with mentors. I got me some mentors.
Yeah.
I didn't care how I spoke to certain people that you probably would have looked at them and been like, oh, the amount of money they make, the lifestyle that they have, they probably don't even have time to mentor me. No.
Never know unless you try.
No. I spoke to him. I said, listen, Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
And I told them, I said, listen, I want you to mentor me because you are a walking model of what I want this business to do for me as well. I want it to do for my real estate mentor, man. He lives in a 16,000 square foot house. He got 10 kids. You know, with his wife, all from the same wife. They was on a vacation for 18 months. Moving country to country. These kids done seen things that a person walking around 100 years old ain't never seen.
Right. That's facts.
And all of that came out of him having the ability to just be able to, the things that I learned from him, being able to leverage your time and your money, because he'll spend the least amount of time possible on real estate and get the most money out of it. And that's what I'm learning how to do now, trying to not have to put so much time to get the results that I want.
Right.
And everything like that. Just being able to learn, to knick-knack, to watch what he does.
And the thing about that is, you have to take it upon yourself, no matter what position you are in, no matter who you are, no matter who's around you. You have to take it upon yourself to speak up, to open your mouth.
Yeah, that's
Let
real.
them know, I want you, I want you to mentor me, or I'm interested in this, or I really, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking into doing this, and I want to know, how can I get started?
Yes.
How can I get into this? And once they see that,
The fire. Hunger.
once they see that you for real, like you want this to happen,
Right.
they're going to take that time out of their day to give you, what you're asking for, as well as helping you to contribute.
And if they
To
don't,
others.
go ahead.
Nah, that's.
I was gonna say, because if they
Yeah.
and if they don't, as long as you continue that persistence and try to and stay positive, eventually you'll find someone with the right mentorship will give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you shoot in the dark, you just might hit something. If you shoot in the dark, you just might hit something.
Yeah.
If you never take the shot, that's
You'll
100%
never
chance
know.
you're not gonna make it.
Exactly.
So just try. You never know.
You'll
might
never
get it.
know. And I done walked upon all types of people and let them know, listen, I want your guidance. No, I don't want your team. I'll tell you straight up. Because my mentor has a whole program for mentoring from people that's under him. So he has people under him who has a and he runs that mentoring program through them.
Right.
And they go and mentor all the people who sign up for the
Exactly.
program. I said, I don't want your mentoring program. I need to speak to you.
Directly. Straight up.
Right.
For real. I was like, no, I'm not interested in being in your no disrespect to
Yeah.
your program. I'm sure because you got your blueprint, I'm sure it works. But I want to be able, if I got a real good question, and of course I'm not gonna be, crazy, hitting up your phone constantly
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Of course I'm gonna be cautious about that. But no, I need to be able to directly get in contact with you. I need to speak to you.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
And and it was even situations, and he was like, wow, I don't get asked that
Right.
ever.
Hmm.
And because of that, you know what?
Confidence.
I'm gonna do that for you.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah.
the confidence
Low-key touch
Mhm.
back
to
on
say that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, some people would feel like, oh, he don't have time for me. But how do you know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know unless you ask. So all he can
Until
say
you
is no.
something.
All
And
he
he's
can say is
made the
no.
time.
Did he hurt you by saying, if he would have said no, would he have
Yeah.
hurt you?
No.
Exactly.
That's cool, but at least you asked, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know in your heart that you try. And you know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah. So, if you never ask, you'll never know. So that's a whole nother thing when it comes to having that, being willing to say, you know what, I'm gonna speak up in times that I need to. You could have this shy aura to yourself.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But at the same time, there's gonna be certain situations where you're gonna have to tell yourself, today not the day.
Gotta speak up.
This place is not the place.
What?
The people around here is not the people to be quiet around. I can benefit from
Right.
being here. I'm gonna speak up. You know, so when it's a situation where you go to a networking event, you go to a party. I done
Yep.
been all types of places.
Yep.
I would pay a couple $1,000s to get an industry pass to a film festival.
Hmm.
Not really because I want to see film. You know, the film is nice. It's a nice addition,
Right.
but I go because hey, let me
network.
get on the carpet.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to see
Let
who's
me
who.
let me
Exactly.
meet, because I end up on the carpet. I'm paying for tickets that normal people don't pay for. I end up in places
Mm-hmm.
that normal people don't end up.
Hmm.
And next thing
Yep.
you know, I find myself in a room with this guy that I know who created this movie that was just in theaters that I love to watch.
Exactly.
And this is the yeah.
Right.
You never know.
Was that with y'all? Was that out with y'all when I ran into y'all when Master P premiere?
Nah.
No, y'all wasn't there.
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah,
Shout out to
shoot.
P, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
For real, man. Hey, man, he a real.
Hey, that boy,
entrepreneur,
that
dog. Hey, real talk.
drop
Yo,
an album, drop an album, drop
Yo.
it, drop it, drop it.
Yo, I support that dude, man. He a real hustler, man.
Hey, for real though, bro. And that's just being able to speak up, to know yourself, be confident in yourself, speak up, know your circle, and
Yeah.
just know who you are, know what you want, and make the decision to go get it.
Go get it. That's it.
And to be persistent, because consistency
It's key.
Oh yes.
There's three components to getting some type of to getting results. There are three major components. There is consistency, there's faith, and there's work. So the work is the meat of it all. It has to be done. When I say faith, I mean faith in yourself.
Staying positive, basically.
Have faith in yourself.
Right.
Because once you lose faith in
Oh,
yourself,
it's over. The game is done.
the game is done
You
before you even know it.
Yeah, exactly. Mentally,
You letting yourself down before you even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
like in foot, like for those who follow football, when they tell you to make a tackle, if you mentally tell yourself you're not going to tackle this person, I'm telling you 99.9 times, you're not going to tackle him.
Yeah.
If he fall, it was a mistake. He tripped. You just having to clip your finger tapped him, because mentally you told yourself, I can't do this. So you done laid down, basically.
Yeah. So you're gonna see it over here on the screen, and it says, there is consistency that goes into your faith and your work. So when there is consistency, and you have that in your faith and your work, that is what will give you the success. So you have the consistency that goes into your faith, which is extremely important, because you could have faith for however long,
Right.
but this and that
You
and
got to
that can
step.
happen, and then you lose it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that you need to keep it at a consistent basis. It needs to be
Exactly.
persistent
Yeah.
and there and alive and well,
Yeah.
no matter what
Yeah.
is going on. And then you have consistency in your work, because working and knowing that you were supposed to get this done in a week and it doesn't get done,
Right.
it's not going to cut it. And I would tell you that every episode, if I got to, I would tell you time and time again, if you know during this week this is what you need to do, and you find yourself in a consistency of not reaching where you were supposed to get to, you got something to figure out.
You're right.
You're right. And my level of being able to do that wasn't always good.
Right.
It wasn't until, and I told Ray about this a while back, about getting a planner. Because when I got a planner, I would plan out my entire week. I would know the things that I need to do. And my efficiency was not that great. I would get some things done, but then there'll be some things done, some things that I had to bring into the next week because I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And I realized, I was like, listen, if I want to be as great as I plan to be, this efficiency level doesn't work. So I started to work on it, and I started to put it upon myself to make sure that just like a person makes it their responsibility to show up for every single one of them 40 hours at their job, you make sure that you put in all that time that you need to for yourself to make sure that stuff gets done.
Right.
You know?
That's real.
So, that's what I decided to do. And now, anybody's efficiency can always get better, but mine is in a way higher place, and that's what matters. So all of those things really, really plays into having your own fire. And I really hope you guys, take everything we said and even rewind it if you got to.
Right.
And really just know that, those keys are things that aren't going to be the easiest to work on, but they must be worked on if you want to, change how things happen in your past generation. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have kids, or you have kids and you want them to grow up differently and you want them to experience different things and you want things to change for your family, period, like not just your kids, but beyond that. And you want to change things, you want to shift things.
It starts with you.
It starts with you. Once you decide it starts with you, you are going to, in your mind, hold the responsibility to make sure that happens. And that's what that is.
And shout out to all the subscribers, man. We appreciate y'all. All the people already subscribing. We appreciate y'all. And just remember, even if you don't believe in you, we believe in you. All right?
Yep, for sure. So that's it. That's it for the Renovated Thinker podcast. We appreciate y'all watching.
Share us.
We'll see you again. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. Do what you got to do, man. All right. We'll see you next week.